With that, we're going to welcome up Andrew Gardner, who is the senior regional sales director for Southwestern Ontario at Beneva. His session is Discover the Full Range of Benefit Savings and Investments Offering. You can expect to learn how to sharpen your unique value proposition and guide clients through the full financial journey using Beneva's savings and investment platform. Andrew, right on cue. Welcome. This sounds like a great one that will round out our agenda nicely.
Thank you very much, Jonathan, and thanks everybody for joining me today. Let me just get the slide deck up and running. Perfect. Yeah, so as mentioned, we're going to be doing a couple of different things today. We're going to be taking a look at how to break through the very crowded wealth advisory space. For those of you who don't know, I'm Andrew Gardner. I'm the Senior Regional Sales Director for Beneva for the investment side. So everything I talk about is kind of skewed through the investment lens. And the title of the 2 days is Beyond the Conversation. And what we're trying to do is harness communication skills and tools that allow you to kind of break through the very crowded space, the wealth advisory space. And again, how Beneva's products and your contract with IDC, what's got a contract with us, can allow you to differentiate yourself in that market space and really deliver value to clients. And ultimately, everything we talk about is the client's got to win. So client wins, you win. And if Beneva is good enough to get the business, then good for us, then it's we win as well. So what we're looking at here is what I call avoiding the sea of sameness. Now, what you're seeing here is actually lifted off of a chartered bank IROC firm. Every single one of their brokers, if you click on their name, will have this chart beside it. And there's nothing inherently wrong with the different things on here, but it's not exactly breaking through in terms of communication to clients of like, why would they be using this particular person? So it always comes down to that question of why you. If we can get that answered and articulated properly, then you're starting to break out of the standard things that you see on, again, in this case, every single IROC broker at this particular firm, IROC firm, looks the same way. So it's hard to do. It's hard to break through that sea of sameness if you kind of look the same. So as far as I'm concerned, the first steps that we have to do when we're talking about why a particular client would use you is to kind of express that value promise or that value proposition that you're aiming to bring to the table. Now, most people kind of understand this stuff, but just quickly, what is a unique value proposition or a unique value promise? Well, it's something that basically outlines what the benefits are of using you. So that's the why you, how you help people solve their problem, and why they should use you instead of a competitor. So if we can kind of work on creating this unique value promise and delivering it to clients, then we're kind of automatically separating ourselves out in terms of all the other people that are out there that do insurance or do investments or do some combination of the two. If you're not answering the why part, if you're not able to articulate a promise or a proposition to clients that you can execute on that resonates with them, then all of your marketing efforts are likely to fall on deaf ears, because we're not honing in what exactly we're bringing to the table and what promises we're looking to solve for clients. So when we're looking at it, the keys to a compelling value proposition, just some things to keep in mind. I'm not going to get so granular in this. If you have any questions, if you want to work with me to create these things, I do have very specific ways that we can work together and kind of hone this in for your particular practice. Everybody's going to be a little bit different, but ultimately it should outline a promise clearly, and it should speak to a fairly specific group of people. The more niche it is, it can be extremely beneficial, but it can't be so niche that the market size is too small. So there should be a sizable market that you can speak directly to. They probably have a common problem or a common issue that you're going to be able to solve. And ultimately, whatever we put out there as our value proposition or our value promise, you do have to execute on that promise, or else it actually backfires on you. If you say you can do one thing and you actually can't, that's a very quick way for clients to leave and not refer anybody. Ultimately, like I said, we're trying to happy clients, happy practice. We want to make sure that we're identifying those problems that clients have within a specific group. We're articulating the why you, and we're able to execute and solve those common problems. Ultimately, what these things generally kind of revolve around, just by the nature of your contract and your licensing, is that you're in a very unique position. As a life licensed advisor, you have the ability to do more of a comprehensive uh, plan or system that you're putting in place for clients, as opposed to some of your main competitors in this space, which tend to be a bit more myopic. They're either insurance or they're investments. And the investment people don't really talk about insurance so much, and in certain cases vice versa. So ultimately, we're trying to put this whole plan together. Part of the value proposition is likely to revolve around the concept of comprehensive financial life cycle solution. What does that mean? It means from start through to legacy. You have the ability through your life license to cover all the bad things in life that can happen. You've had Jennifer just before me was talking about insurance. You have insurance stuff, and Beneva has a full suite of insurance products, cover all the bad things in life that can happen: death, disability, critical illness, all those kind of things. You're able to protect assets, income streams, beneficiaries through that insurance side. And then you have the ability to do the investment side. And ultimately, clients are going to have some form of long-term savings buckets. And those savings buckets are going to be through likely insured investments if we're putting them through your insurance license. We're going to create the systems in place, put together the plan in place. We're going to grow those assets as best we can. We're going to make sure that there's insurance layered into these plans, so that ultimately when it comes to distribute those positions, we're going to be in a really good position to do so. So in the investment world, in my brain, everything falls into one of three buckets. So I work very closely with the brokers who choose to work with me, and so do my colleagues. And we all kind of think this way. The client's either going to be accumulating, they're going to be transitioning to distribution, or they're going to be in distribution. Each one of these stages requires a deft touch in terms of how the portfolios are structured, how much risk are we taking, how many guarantees do we want in here, how are we going to transition to the next phase, and how are we ultimately going to go to the distribution phase, and ultimately the final distribution is the estate, and how those things are handled. So again, at investments at Beneva, I am spoiled for choice. I can build anything you want, and I can make sure that your value proposition about comprehensive financial planning across all spectrums of the life cycle, cradle to grave, start to legacy, we've got solutions that can be put together in such a way that the clients are going to achieve excellent risk-adjusted returns, beneficiaries are protected, and we're going to avoid things like problematic sequence of returns when it comes to distributions, meaning that we're going to try to avoid the scenario where if the returns aren't good early, that can really derail a financial plan long term. So as I mentioned, I'm spoiled for choice here. I have non-market risk positions, things like GIAs, annuities, high yield interest accounts, equity index GICs. We can do lots of different things on that front. And then we do have market risk positions. We have a full suite of normal segregated funds. And then the big deal at Beneva is going to be within the registered plans, and that's the registered investment account. And brand new, a couple of weeks old, we have something called enhanced investment accounts. That is likely going to be the best sweet spot when it comes to Beneva, is going to be these registered assets. Now, I don't use segregated funds for anything registered anymore. It'll become obvious as I go through this. And if we're trying to build out this financial advice lifecycle, why the investment accounts dominate. And quite bluntly, I think we've cornered the market when it comes to registered investments with this investment account platform. I'm finding it very hard to see the logic of using standard segregated funds when you have access to the investment accounts. But in the non-registered space, we can use those segregated funds. We've got lots of great portfolios. We can build to suit. We have many different contract options from 75, 75, 7,500, 100 segregated funds. Again, with me, it's going to be non-registered positions. So what we're really looking to do here is the legacy part. That is the estate planning side of the financial advice lifecycle. And we're going to be able to build out a very good glide path when it comes to estates in terms of beneficiary, successor annuitants, joint accounts, contingent, continuing, however this thing needs to be structured. In the non-registered world, obviously, having named beneficiaries with insurance-based contracts is a major advantage because we get to avoid things like probate, all the leakage that comes with executors, accountants, lawyers, whatever. We can handle most things right up front at the point of application. So for non-registered positions, we do have lots of options, and you have, options across the spectrum. I've got great funds. The net returns are certainly quite compelling. But to be blunt, my off-the-rack seg funds are a touch expensive. The best way to use Beneva for non-registered positions is to get them into the private wealth management platform, which is a high net worth platform. The thresholds are $500,000 for a family. So that's anybody that's related. It doesn't matter. It's not the same household or province or postal code or what have you. It's anybody that's a direct relative of the main person, including in-laws. Once we do that, we're able to solve the seg funds like I said, tend to be a bit more expensive. This will drop those fees and MERs down quite substantially as soon as we can add up all those family members and get them over $500,000 in segregated funds. And when we do that, we're able to discount those fees. The transparency, the reporting is very robust. Everything is super visible. That visibility allows us to take the advisory fees and make them tax deductible for non-registered plans. Again, if you call me and say I've got a non-registered client, that's where the seg funds come in. If it's a registered plan, the likelihood of me using segregated funds is virtually zero. But in the non-registered world, probate, estate planning, tax deductibility of those advisory fees. They are a carrying charge when the client goes to file. They get a statement. You could circle the statement, advisory fees. The accountant can use those to write those off against income for that particular client. So again, value proposition from start to legacy. The legacy component is the estate. You got these ability to do non-registered plans and naming beneficiaries. The major advantage over what else is out there. And again, it's not something that your direct competitors are talking a lot about. The investment-only IROC person or the investment-only mutual fund type person, they're not as concerned about these things. And it's a big deal. A lot of money is going to be transferred over the next while. I think everybody knows those stats. For anything that's non-registered, you have the expertise and awareness that there's solutions out there that clients probably don't know about. And it's a way for you to execute on that value proposition about that comprehensive financial planning that you're delivering for clients. Now, I will mention a couple of very unique creases that we have that can really help you execute that value proposition. On the left side of your screen, you'll see something that says guaranteed option change. This is not unique to Beneva, but most companies don't allow you in non-registered accounts to change contracts. Meaning, say you're in a 75-75 and you want to go to a 7500. Most other places you have to sell that one contract and buy another one. Well, non-registered, that is a deemed disposition. So you're going to be tripping capital gains taxes. The only way it makes sense for you to even be looking at this is that if the market values have appreciated because you're looking to, lock in at a higher death benefit somewhere else. Well, with us, we don't have that problem. We have this form. You can just rotate the guarantees. As long as you don't change the underlying position, you are not tripping deemed disposition. So you can move a client from a 75 to a 7500 or a 100 down to a 75, and you will not be tripping any deemed dispositions. Clients do not trip capital gains to increase death benefits. Unless there's something weird going on, like there's a medical situation or something, sure, there's probably one-offs, but it's not something that would be done routinely. But with us, it happens all the time because there's no upfront tax implications to do that rotation of guarantee. So I don't know how well understood this is within the marketplace, but to me, it's a major, major advantage to the point where even if my standard off-the-rack segregated funds are a touch more expensive, it could be well worth it if the idea is that we're going to start you at 75, not start you at 7,500 somewhere else because you can't change that one, or it's going to be a tax situation if you go to change it 10 years from now. So for us, we could start you off here and then move it and not have to worry about it. So it's a way to navigate through the start to legacy value proposition that you're bringing towards for clients. Another one that's not super well understood is something we call Project 84. We have a 100-100 contract. Not everybody has those. In the seg fund universe, we are able to open a 100-100 contract right up to the client's 85th birthday. Contract now open. $500, $400 actually will open the contract. Now you have all the beneficiaries, contingent, continuing, whatever the estate plan structure, whatever you wanted to do, it's there. And this is like a big catcher's mitt. You don't need tons of money to open the contract. It's now opened. The client can make deposits after the age of 85 and retain 100% death benefit. So we have a lot of people, they don't have, they're not liquid in that sense. They're still living at home. There's still assets sitting in a GIC somewhere or whatever the case is. It's okay. We can get the contracts open now and catcher's mitt, glide past the estate, make sure everybody, all that money is going to go where it should go, and we're able to put 100% death benefit. Obviously, that would be applicable on things that take on market risk. So you're able to add in an equity position for a 90-year-old and pick up 100% death benefit because you know that the assets are going to roll to the beneficiaries, and the time horizon is actually based on the beneficiary, not the current owner. And we can build buckets to suit liquidity buckets across the whole spectrum, like I said, and we're able to really, really help with that start to legacy. And we're moving beyond the conversation of, hey, I'm an advisor, and it's more, this is why people use me, right? These are the kind of tools that you have that these other folks aren't really talking about. So again, it's extremely powerful. So non-registered stuff, we could certainly help with. The big kahuna at Beneva is going to be these investment accounts. So we're the only game in town that run it the way we run it, which is same fund, same MER, third-party branded mutual fund people. Just for those who don't know, these investment accounts are not seg funds. They are not mutual funds. They are technically variable annuity contracts, and they are life positions, meaning they're sold through your life license through the MGA. You don't have to be MFDA licensed. Beneva doesn't care if you have an MFDA license. We do require you to be contracted with an MGA who's got a contract with us, which obviously IDC does. So these investment accounts, we pick up mutual funds and drop them into this insurance blanket. The insurance blanket provides 100% death benefit on all contributions up to the age of 75. The trick is we don't charge anything above what the A-class mutual funds that we use. So you have the same manager, same holdings, same performance, same everything. We have a death benefit and the mutual funds don't. Normally, if you wanted a death benefit, you would have to look at the segregated fund world. Those segregated funds, some have death benefits, some are only 75%, all of which are going to be more expensive than the Beneva investment accounts. This is why we've cornered the market on the registered plans. So these investment accounts only work in RSPs, RIFs, LIRAs, LIPs, and TFSAs. Theoretically, they could work for RESPs, RDSPs, FHSAs, but we don't administer those plans. So it's just those big long-term savings buckets, the TFSAs, the RSPs, the LIRAs. Those are the types of plans where you can deploy these investment accounts, protect beneficiaries, and not pay up for a death benefit guarantee. So again, same fund, same MER. The money has to arrive at Beneva before the client's 75th birthday to get that 100% death benefit guarantee. If money comes in after, then certainly you would attract the death benefit, but it would drop to 75%. Okay, so same fund, same MER, registered investment accounts, all those TFSAs and all those things can be slid over to us. And that's great. You got a death benefit guarantee. Again, bluntly, no one cares if you have a death benefit guarantee if the underlying positions are poor performers. So where the real magic happens at Beneva is that we use these folks. Many clients may not know who Beneva is, but they probably know who Fidelity, TD, AGF, CI, Fiera, Dynamic, all of these folks you see on your screen. These are well-known retail branded names. And again, we are identical to what the underlying MERs are at those companies. Now, we don't have every fund in the investment accounts for Fidelity or CI or any of these other folks, but we have 42 of them, and we're able to cover the whole gamut from very conservative right through to aggressive. If you're someone who doesn't do a ton of investments, but know that your value proposition is if it's all insurance and it's not the other side, that you're not doing what you could do for clients, but you don't want to get into the granular detail of portfolio building. One, I can help you with that, but we also have ready-built portfolios. They are HEF and their Elements platform, and we have Dynamic and their Edge portfolio. And we got lots of great investments across the spectrum. I mentioned 42 of them are available within the investment account platform, roughly half of which carry 4- or 5-star ratings from Morningstar. So there's plenty of options here to build portfolios to suit, and we can do really strong risk-adjusted performance, again, for well-diversified, professionally managed RSPs, TFSAs, and LIRAs. Mutual fund pricing, 100% death benefit. And people say, well, they don't believe me. They'll say, you mean like you're kind of close to the mutual fund? And I say, no, we are exactly the same in terms of pricing as the mutual fund. Here's an example. We have the CI Global Income and Growth Fund, right? It's a very popular, well-known global balance fund. We call it Global Balance CI. So I just went on CI's website, cut and paste the return numbers for this A-class version of the fund. And then I went on the Beneva site and I cut and paste our reporting compound rates of return below. You could see 1 year, 1037 for them, 1037 for us. 3 year, 992, 3 year, 992. 5 year, 7, 5 year, 7. It makes zero sense to own this particular A-class mutual fund in an RSP, TFSA, LIRA, all those registered plans, not through you, through your contract with IDC, who's got a contract with Beneva. We have a death benefit and the mutual funds don't. And that is a huge added value you're able to bring to clients they're probably not even aware of. And we got lots of different choices like this. So anything that's registered, again, if it's in an A-class mutual fund, it should be at Beneva. If it's sitting in 75 segregated funds, it should be at Beneva. We are going to be dramatically less even than those plan types. If you have clients that want resets and other things, the standard investment accounts don't offer that. It's contributions in. I have ways we can reset it, but it's not a button that you can press. It's not like a part of the actual system. So what we've done to further solidify the dominance within these registered plans is we've taken these investment accounts and we've created something called the enhanced investment account. And this further allows that start to legacy value proposition to execute on that, because we have this little piece that's been added in that it acts as a bridge. So what am I talking about? The enhanced investment accounts are the same investment account MERs. We're layering in a small guarantee fee on top of it. And what that does for you is now allows for the automatic annual reset of these positions. So first club out of the bag is likely to be the investment accounts. We could start there And then when we cross the bridge where we want to reset it, we can now look to the enhanced, move it over laterally, lock in the market value as a new 100% death benefit, and put an automatic annual death benefit reset on these positions. So if anything in a registered plan, either you want resets, I got them, or you're not so keen on them, you don't want to pay up for them, just give me the mutual fund MERs. I'm in the accumulation phase. I want to generate as high a market value as I possibly can, and we can use these enhanced guarantees. The enhanced investment accounts, like I said, there is a layering of an extra guarantee fee on there. So you're able to pick up a lot of extra value for not a lot. And the way it's kind of working out is that these enhanced are kind of coming in same pricing as a standard 75-75 segregated fund. Okay, so for about the same as a 75-75, you're able to get a 75-100 with an automatic reset. That's what's in it for the client. What's in it for you is we've got added commission for the 3 and 5 year chargeback positions. They are a little bit better than my standard investment accounts. The trailers basically kick in a little bit earlier. The upfront payments are the same between both, but the trails start earlier. So overall, you do earn a little bit more within the enhanced investment account. And the 5 year, it's the same story, where the same in terms of upfront, trails kick in earlier. A major advantage with these enhanced investment accounts, again, we're going to start off on the regular investment accounts, slide it over to the enhanced investment accounts, and now we are likely moving into a RIF or LIF situation. We will allow 10% out for chargeback commission pieces within the enhanced. In the regular investment account, anything that comes out will trip a chargeback. So these are optionalities. We've got another tool, another arrow in the quiver to keep buttressing that value proposition, right? And we want to maximize clients' value. Price is what you pay, value is what you get. So here's a quick example. We have the Canadian Equity Income Fund from Dynamic. You can buy it as an investment account, MER is 211. You can get it as an enhanced, the MER is 256. This same mandate exists at one of my competitor funds. This is a 75-75, comes in at 281. So take a really good look at your existing seg fund blocks, see where the guarantees are, and see what can be done in terms of sliding these assets over. And we're able to keep driving that value proposition forward for clients, keep maximizing their value, keep executing on what we're promising to clients, which is delivering those comprehensive start to legacy financial plans, either through the insurance or the investment side. I think I'll halt it right there, Jonathan, if that's all right. We can leave a few minutes for questions.
Awesome, Andrew. That was so good. I guarantee if advisors hadn't looked at Beneva for their seg platform yet, they're going to now. That was a compelling argument. So good to see what you're doing in the space to help advisors improve their value proposition. That was really good. And it looks like there are some questions, which is awesome to see. So John is wondering, not sure if I heard you say it, but do you get creditor protection with the enhanced guaranteed investment funds?
Yeah, both are insurance-based contracts. So very, very good question. In order to get creditor protection, you do have to name a preferred beneficiary, right? So if you name a preferred beneficiary on these and they're purchased in good faith, they act exactly the same as segregated funds, because segregated funds are also insured products. They're the same, like the same DNA as segregated funds, how estates settle, the creditor protection's the same. It works exactly the same in that regard. The big difference is that the fee structures on investment accounts are just dramatically lower.
Great. That's awesome. And we've got a question from Don, which will be our last one. Are they available for non-registered accounts? And if not, why not?
Yeah, no, they're not. We are working on it. I'm not sure how they're going to square that circle, to be honest, but when they're telling me they're working on it, we'll see what happens next year. But the reason why they're not is that, if you recall, I said these are variable annuity contracts. So within an annuity contract, everything looks like income as far as taxes goes. So this one on the screen, this is a Canadian dividend fund. It's going to have cap gains. It's going to have eligible dividends from a Canadian corporation. It wouldn't matter. We would issue a T3 and only one box would be filled, and that would be the income box. So they're not tax efficient, non-registered. But in registered plans, everything's sheltered. So the underlying sources of income are irrelevant. right? So that's how we're able to do it just for the registered plans. But stay tuned. Apparently, we're working on solutions for the non-registered stuff as well. Like I said, it'll be interesting to see what we might come up with.
Good stuff. And sorry, I lied. We have one question that will take us right to time, which is Aristotle is wondering, do creditors include the CRA?
That's a legal type of situation, right? So basically, we don't talk to creditors unless a judge, unless there's some type of legal situation that requires it. And CRA, yeah, basically, yeah, it's tough to beat them, right? So it's more of the creditor protection would be, like as long as they're purchased in good faith and there's some type of legal settlement, these assets become untouchable, right?
Okay.
And just quickly on top of that, it's different in Ontario. I know there's people from all across the country, but in Ontario, LIRAs, locked in retirement accounts, are bankruptcy remote, as are RSPs. But you got to declare bankruptcy to get that protection. Creditor protection's a notch above. Where the creditor protection matters most is with your TFSAs, because those are fully attackable assets, no different than non-registered positions. So TFSA, name a preferred beneficiary, can't guarantee against CRA or if there's a judge's order or something like that, but it does add the creditor protection to those assets.
Awesome. This has been great, Andrew. Where can advisors go to learn more?
You can go to www.beneva.ca. It is the public site. You click on advisors and you can noodle around through there. You can always reach out to me, and wherever you are in the country, I can route you to one of my colleagues. We do have coverage from coast to coast, Atlantic Canada, right through to BC, and obviously Beneva has a very strong presence in Quebec. So yeah, we're here to help. And if you reach out to us, we'll be able to do comparisons, hypotheticals, make sure that we're putting the client's best foot forward. And we have a ton of success with brokers who do that, and take advantage. Your wholesalers should be helping you make money. So
For sure.
use
Agreed.
them.
Yeah, agreed. And BDEs too. So again, they're your conduit into all the different carriers. So leverage them
Absolutely.
where you can. Good stuff. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks for closing out the day. We appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Bye, everybody.